The Allen County Scottsville Patriots recently wrapped up their season in the playoffs with a loss to Madisonville North Hopkins.
The Patriots finished with just 4 wins, but they did lose a lot of seniors from last year's team. They made it all the way to the state championship game. And joining us now on the Sports Connection is the head coach of the Patriots, Brad Head. Coach,
how's it going?
Joining us.
Appreciate it.
See you, Coach.
Thanks for having me.
Thanks for coming, man.
Hey, always, buddy.
I mean,
Anything
really,
for you.
thank you.
Yeah,
Woo!
yeah.
It took an act to get you here today,
It
but
did.
thank you.
It did. It's worthwhile.
Talk a little bit about your guys' season. You know, probably didn't go the way you wanted, but you guys did lose a lot from last year.
Yeah, it did. And, you know, when you lose that many incredible football players that we left, you know, but there was a lot of other things. I mean, our schedule was unbelievable. We started the year with Bowling Green, and it just seemed like it was each week we had, you know, another test in front of us. But we accomplished a lot of goals. I felt like we played our best football game at the end of the year, and at the start of the year, that's all you hope for. And our kids did get better. And you know, after that 0-2 start, we could have went a lot of different ways. But you know, what a group of kids that I had that come back every day working hard to get better. And you know, we give Franklin there in the last game of the 9th week of the season a run for their money for the district championship game, and then the playoffs against a good Madisonville team. You know, I thought we played hard and played well enough to win, just come up a little short.
Coach, and you know, you talk about that Franklin Simpson game, 35-34, overtime. I mean, it was one of the best. I mean, it's up there with one of the best games I've ever seen. But what impressed me the most is that, you know, you're coaching who you have. You weren't coaching last year. You weren't coaching an undefeated team, all those seniors. You were coaching who you had. And by the end of the season, you had a really competitive team.
Yeah, we did. And, you know, we had good kids. And you know, we don't pick and choose. We get who comes out, and we love the ones that come out, and we're going to make them the best we can make them. And, you know, just been so fortunate to have good coaches and kids that you just enjoy going to practice every day. You know, there was times this year that I was down, and they picked me up. And just because you come in on Monday after a tough weekend, but they come in on Monday wanting to get better, and it made me as a coach and my coaches as coaches want to go out there each day and spend more time with them, and would love to have that other week, you know, would love to have another week and to spend with them. But what great memories these young men have brought for us.
Well, Coach, you know, not only are you a coach always, but you're also an analyst today for us because, you know, we're in the regional championship weekend,
Right.
of course, and then the Final Four. And there's nobody better that can really explain or answer our questions about what those coaches are going through. Of course, you went 2 back-to-back undefeated seasons. You went to the state championship last year. When you look at Glasgow, first of all, and you look at Bowling Green, both with perfect records going to that regional championship, how does anything change from a coaching perspective going into that regional championship game, knowing, one, you're going for a regional championship, and two, if you win, you're only 1 game away from that state championship match?
Well, you know, it was fortunate. We played 3 straight years in the regional championship, and in all 3 years, you know, it was just a great experience. You know, unfortunately, we won one last year and got to move on. You know, the undefeated season, you never really think of until the playoffs, because then you're just you lose 1 game then and you're going home. And so it's, you know, you have that sense of urgency that you know what's ahead, but you also know what's there if you get beat. And either way, it's either an end of something or one more opportunity to go out and do it again. And it just, you know, I wish I'd have spent more time each year with the reflection, looking back, you know, until it's all said and done. And you know, now you're there, and, you know, 3 straight. You're so caught up in the moment of that next game that you don't really, as a coach, you know, and that was the one thing I was told last year from some of my friends that have been there, enjoy it. You can't enjoy it. Yeah. You're so caught up in trying to win the game. You're so caught up in trying to plan the week, and with each week you've got that many more plans that you got to make, and you've got such a short time to do it that the paperwork side of it even becomes more complicated and difficult. And but it's the whole experience of it, and to know what lies ahead that other week if you get the opportunity to win, I think really outweighs more than the whole undefeated regular season. You look back at it when it's all said and done, you know, and a chance to glorify your kids. But at that time, you don't even worry about that. You're worried about winning one more week and trying to move on.
When you get to this point in the playoffs, does the message change for coaches a little bit? Do you alter what you're saying to the kids since it's kind of you're getting closer and closer to the goal, or do you kind of stay with the same message you've been preaching all year?
Well, you know, we try to keep the same thing, and for 6 years at Allen County, we have one team rule, and that's to get better every day, regardless if it's first day of practice or it's the 60th day of practice. And we feel like that as long as we keep getting better, we're going out to practice to prepare for a new team, just like we normally would. We try not to change the routine as much as possible, which, we do things a little different. We put a game as a game. And, district games, yes, some people rate a little higher. And, we go out each week wanting to win. And so you try to put that in, and you're still doing the same thing, and you're trying to get your kids focused on that. You got to talk a little bit about what if. And you try to leave that limit as much as that as you can, but there's still times where, guys, this is what we're shooting for, and you want to remind them of that.
Coach, when you're dealing with 16, 17, and in some cases 18-year-olds, when you get to this
some
point,
cases 14-year-olds.
Yeah, okay, yeah, the real young kids, when you get to the regional championship and you're this close, and do you have to kind of bring them in and focus them? Do they start to think about, Houchin Smith and, what's going to be going on?
Yeah, it's easy for them to lose sight of that right in front of them because of that bigger goal, But, as it gets closer, I think the reality of it makes a lot more sense to them. In 100-degree weather, when you're screaming state champ, you've been at my practice and you're screaming state champions and things like that.
Yeah,
it's so far off. When you're doing that the week of a regional championship, they can it's almost a sense of tasting it. And so you kind of have to make sure they focus on what you have to do to get there. But then again, too, I think they know, it's becoming a realization. Okay, hey, we can see this. We're almost there. What do we need to do to get there? And you see that you don't have to get on them as much. I found that once playoffs start, there's a lot less goofing off and a lot more business that takes place.
Well, Coach, you want to stick around for one more segment?
Hey,
Let's grill you with a couple more questions.
Hey, I'm good to go, man.
All right, that sounds good. Time for a quick break. Stick around. You're watching the Sports Connection.